Making headlines. The president extends congratulations to Joseph Aoun on his election as the new president of Lebanon. China assures support to facilitate the acceleration of the implementation of development projects in the pipeline pledge for the Maldives. And the Islamic minister highlights the pivotal role of education in Islam in advancing knowledge and fostering unity among Muslim communities.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Idham Naim. President Dr. Mohamed Moise extends his congratulations to Joseph Aoun on his election as the new president of Lebanon. In his message, the president noted that close bilateral relations that exist between the Maldives and Lebanon, which are founded on Islamic values and shared interests. He expressed his commitment to work together to further strengthen the brotherly ties between the two countries and wished the president success and wisdom in leading Lebanon towards greater peace and prosperity. President Dr. Moise concluded his message with personal wishes for President Aoun's good health and happiness, as well as for the peace and progress of the brotherly people of Lebanon. The Chinese government assures support to facilitate the acceleration of the implementation of development projects in the pipeline pledge for the Maldives. The assurance was extended by Minister of Foreign Affairs of China, Wang Yi, during a courtesy call on President Dr. Mohamed Moise.
During the meeting held at the President's office, President Dr. Mohamed Moise extended a warm welcome to China's Minister Wang Yi and thanked the minister for visiting the Maldives. The President expressed gratitude for the close friendship between the Maldives and China and the generous support from China towards the Maldives' development goals over the years. He further reflected on his state visit to China in January last year as a highly fruitful engagement that elevated bilateral cooperation between the two countries to new heights. President Dr. Moise emphasized the importance of expediting key infrastructure development projects under the concluded agreements and memorandum of understandings between the two countries. He underscored the need to prioritize social housing and road development projects that are among the most pressing needs of the Maldivian people. Furthermore, the President highlighted his administration's focus on economic diversification, particularly in the agriculture and fisheries sector, and sought China's support in advancing these critical areas. In response, Minister Wang Yi conveyed appreciation to President Dr. Moise for his commitment to strengthen the bilateral cooperation between the two countries, adding that the President is a good friend and trustworthy partner of China. Minister Wang also commended President Dr. Moise's development vision for the Maldives and affirmed China's continued support for the country's sustainable development. He assured the Chinese government's support to facilitate the acceleration of the implementation of development projects in the pipeline. He further acknowledged Maldives' commitment to the One China principle and highlighted the cooperation between the two countries as a testament to how nations, regardless of size, can collaborate effectively for mutual progress and prosperity. The meeting concluded with both leaders expressing their mutual commitment to carry forward the China-Maldives Comprehensive Strategic Cooperative Partnership that was agreed between the two countries during President Dr. Moise's state visit to China, and to further strengthen cooperation on multilateral platforms towards a shared future.
Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shaheen Ali Said highlights the pivotal role of education in Islam, stressing its importance in advancing knowledge and fostering unity among Muslim communities.
During a keynote address at the Muslim World League Rabita al-Alam al-Islami conference, Minister Dr. Shaheen highlighted that Islam views education as the foundation of progress and prosperity. He noted that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, strongly emphasized the importance of knowledge, stating that seeking education is a duty for every single Muslim. He also highlighted the example of Aisha radiallahu anha, the wife of the Prophet and the mother of the believers, one of the Prophet's most knowledgeable companions, who was both an educator and scholar in her own right, demonstrating the significant role of women in Islamic education. Minister Dr. Shaheen expressed his gratitude to the Muslim World League, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and other Muslim nations for their tireless efforts and invaluable contributions towards promoting education in Muslim communities. He acknowledged their commitment to fostering educational development as a collective responsibility, further strengthening the bond of unity among Islamic nations. As a member of the Supreme Council of the Muslim World League, Minister Dr. Shaheen's participation in this prestigious platform underscores the Maldives' dedication to Islamic values and its active role in supporting global initiatives aimed at advancing education in Muslim societies.
Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shaheen Ali Said reveals that more companies violating policies regarding organizing Umrah pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia have been identified. The minister said some companies have failed to comply with the relevant rules gazetted on October 9th last year regarding Umrah group arrangements. He assured that action would be taken against these companies next week based on the extent of their violations and unmet obligations. Recently, a case emerged involving an Umrah group that neglected pilgrims under their care during the December Umrah season. Action has already been taken against the company responsible, identified as Al Hijr Travel and Tours Private Limited. It has been reported that 24 pilgrims under Al Hijr's care are stranded in Makkah. The company is alleged to have misused funds allocated for the purchase of their return tickets, resulting in the unfortunate situation. The minister emphasized that the government will always prioritize the safety and security of its citizens in situations where assistance is required. He added that the government would make every effort to ensure the safe return of the pilgrims stranded in Saudi Arabia due to Al Hijr's negligence. The Islamic Ministry has previously reaffirmed the government's commitment to holding companies accountable for negligence in managing Umrah pilgrimage. The Maldives immigration reports that over 5,600 undocumented migrants in the Maldives were deported last year. In 2024, immigration intensified efforts to address the issue of undocumented migrants and conducted a series of targeted raid operations to identify undocumented individuals.
The administration aims to solve the long-standing issue of undocumented migrants effectively and has been working closely with enforcement agencies to resolve the challenge. To support these efforts, a designated task force has been established comprising members from enforcement agencies and various government ministries. In July last year, a designated portal, the Immigration Watch, was introduced, enabling citizens to report suspected undocumented migrants in the Maldives and other immigration-related violations. With these tools, efforts commenced to inspect workplaces to identify and detain those found to be in violation of immigration laws. For 2024, the government set a target to identify and deport 5,000 undocumented migrants and those working in the Maldives in violation of laws. This goal was surpassed with official statistics confirming that a total of 5,613 migrants were deported last year, primarily as a result of immigration raids and detentions. According to Maldives Immigration, a total of 1,161 cases have been reported to the Immigration Watch since its launch. Of these, 1,061 cases have been investigated. The majority of the reported instances pertain to migrant workers engaging in illegal business activities, with 239 such reports received. The portal also received an equal number of reports pertaining to work visa violations. The portal documented 65 cases related to prostitution rings, 41 instances of migrant workers absconding from their sponsoring company, 14 concerning tourist visa violations, and 12 each related to violations of employer sponsorship and illegal visa usage. The Immigration Authority also investigated 11 cases, each involving various criminal activities and drug abuse by migrant workers, and 10 cases of illegal business operations. In addition to deporting undocumented migrants, the government is also offering pathways for undocumented individuals to regularize their status. Efforts are also underway to collect biometric data on foreign nationals in the Maldives as part of a broader strategy to tackle illegal migration systematically.
The Maldives welcomed 2025 with vibrant celebrations, including fireworks and a drone show organized by the Maldives Marketing and Public Relations Corporation, MMPRC. Alongside these festivities, the Maldives also marked significant accomplishments across different sectors. The most notable developments at the start of 2025 has been the extensive trips undertaken by President Dr. Mohammad Moiz.
In just 9 days, President Dr. Mohammad Moiz already visited 10 islands this year, including Guli of Kaf Atoll and 9 islands in Huadu Atoll. During these visits, the President engaged with island councils and local residents, assuring them that the government would address their concerns and fulfill pledges made to them, placing a special emphasis on fulfilling pledges related to the fishing sector. With the commencement of the new year, the Maldives has also made notable strides in the economic sector. The new year kicked off with the Free Trade Agreement FTA between the Maldives and China coming into effect. This agreement exempts duty on fish exported from the Maldives and imports into the country. This is the first such agreement implemented in the Maldives and is seen as a historic step. The government believes that the FTA will be greatly beneficial for the Maldivian economy. In another key development, the national flag carrier, Maldivian, added its first wide-body aircraft to its fleet last week. The aircraft, with a capacity of 264 passengers, will be utilized for flights to 3 destinations in China. The addition is an important step taken towards diversifying the Maldivian economy. Furthermore, Maldives Ports Limited revealed that last year ended with the Maldives seeing the highest number of cargo imports to date. According to statistics, 66,387 containers of cargo were imported into the Maldives, in addition to 131,262 freight tons of general cargo. Additionally, the Foreign Exchange Act also came into effect with the new year. The aim of this act is to establish a framework to determine which transactions can be conducted using foreign currency in the Maldives and establishing rules relating to the import, use, possession and deposit of foreign currency. This year began with the northeastern monsoon bringing heavy rains to Malé City, prompting the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) to carry out its largest relief operation to date. The rain caused significant damage across the Maldives. Following damage assessments, NDMA issued a statement noting that of the 145 households in Malé City that reported being affected by the rain, 115 households were assessed. Assessments could not be conducted on the remaining homes due to unwillingness of homeowners and various other reasons. Meanwhile, 8 islands in the atolls reported damages due to the rain. NDMA said that assessment reports have been submitted for 73 households across 4 islands so far.
Agriculture as an industry plays a pivotal role in the economy of a country. However, Maldives for years have largely overlooked its potential to force the island nations to heavily rely on essential agricultural imports, bleeding the country of its limited revenue.
The Maldives agriculture industry has huge potential. The country has abundant, agriculturally rich lands in the islands, and with modern technology and innovative farming techniques, agriculture experts believe that the country can finally exploit its rich agricultural potential. After decades of neglect, the Maldives has finally witnessed a policy shift towards realizing its massive potential. Incumbent President Dr. Mohammad Moiz, since assuming office in November 2023, has launched several initiatives towards reaching that goal through training and equipment for local farmers, complemented by efforts to boost the marketing of their produce. This administration is introducing modern methods to increase agricultural productivity to ensure food security in a country with limited resources. In that regard, a pilot project has been launched in Hanimado Agriculture Center, Hadal Atoll, with 3 types of vertical hydroponic setup on trial basis. The government has also aimed to plug the glaring gap of the lack of laboratory in Maldives to diagnose various types of plant disease, which remains a long-standing concern of local farmers. The government has started work to establish a national agricultural laboratory to address these concerns and aims to provide the service to farmers this year. To complement such infrastructure activities, The Ministry of Fisheries, Marine Resources and Agriculture is conducting many programs to strengthen the agriculture sector in the Maldives, including hydroponics, food security and farmer training programs. In addition, the ministry has launched a specially designed loan program aimed at providing financial assistance to local farmers. This loan program has been designed to encourage aspiring young farmers along with funding expansion of existing farmers. The ministry is also working on compiling a national register of farmers. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu also launched a major agricultural project in the Uturutila Faru to reduce Maldives' dependency on agricultural imports and ensure food security. In a bid to ensure legal protection for the agricultural industry, the government has drafted a special agriculture act and submitted it to the Attorney General's office for review. Apart from agriculture, the next most notable effort by this administration is to task the Agriculture Ministry with a separate mandate on animal welfare. During the past year, the government has established a pet care facility for thousands of stray cats in the capital Malé region. The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Welfare is strengthening the laws and also formulating new laws and regulations to regulate the welfare of animals and livestock in the country. A new law on animal welfare has also been drafted and is currently reviewed by the AGO.
Mexico is going to find a solution to avoid the imposing of tariffs by the United States, Economy Minister Marcelo Ebrard said on Friday, following threats from U.S. President-elect Donald Trump to do so.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has promised sweeping tariffs on Mexico if it does not crack down on migrant arrivals at the shared border and the entry of drugs, particularly fentanyl, into the U.S. Mexico's economic minister, Ebrard, speaking at a conference in Mexico City, compared the current trade tensions with the previous negotiations during Trump's first term when Ebrard was Mexico's foreign minister. Then, Trump made big tariff threats around migration that did not come to pass. Ebrard noted that in the end there were no tariffs, adding that Mexico will find a solution to avoid the imposing of tariffs by the U.S. as previously. He reiterated that Trump's tariff threats seemed unrealistic because of the heavy impact they would have on the U.S. economy. Trump has also accused Mexico of being a backdoor for Chinese goods to reach the U.S., something Mexico denies. Mexico has, however, launched a crackdown on contraband products imported from Asia called Operation Cleanup. It also imposed tariff on textile imports, which Ebrard said were in response to the flooding of the local market with cheap goods. Ebrard said that Mexico is also looking to broaden its trade relationship with other countries beyond the U.S., adding that the United Arab Emirates Sovereign Wealth Fund was studying investments in Mexico's semiconductor and renewable energy sectors.
Israeli warplanes bombed a power station and 2 ports in Houthi-controlled Yemen on Friday in retaliation for Houthi drones and missile strikes against Israel.
An eyewitness video obtained by Reuters showed a huge explosion and plumes of smoke rising from the site of the attack at the Hezia Central Power Station in Yemen's capital, Sana'a. Reuters was able to independently verify the location with the business sign, design and the structure of the building that matched file and street view imagery of the area. The date was verified by an Israeli army statement confirming the strike on the Hezia Central Power Station. Houthi media said that at least 1 person had been killed and 9 wounded in the Israeli airstrike. Media also reported that along with the Hezia Central Station, the strikes hit the Red Sea port of Ras Issa and Harf Sufyan district in Amran province.
Firefighters finally started gaining control over 2 major wildfires on the eastern and western flanks of Los Angeles on Friday as fierce winds that supercharged the fires for days finally eased.
6 simultaneous wildfires have devastated Los Angeles County neighborhoods since Tuesday, killed at least 11 people, and damaged or destroyed 10,000 structures. Those totals are expected to grow once it is safe enough for firefighters to conduct house-to-house searches. With thousands of people suddenly homeless and the thickening smoke leading U.S. officials to declare a public health emergency, Firefighters reported progress arrest in the Palisades fire on the western edge of the city and the Eaton fire in the foothills east of the sprawling metropolis. After burning out of control for days, despite the efforts of hundreds of firefighters attacking the blazes from the air and on the ground, the Palisades fire was 8% contained and the Eaton fire 3%. CAL FIRE had listed containment levels of both fires at 0% until Friday. Even so, the two big fires combined had consumed 35,000 acres, around 14,100 hectares or 54 square miles, 2.5 times the land area of Manhattan. Some 153,000 people remain under evacuation orders and another 166,800 face evacuation warnings with a curfew in place for all evacuation zones. 7 neighboring states, the federal government and Canada have rushed aid to California, bolstering aerial teams dropping water and fire retardant on the flaming hills and crews on the ground attacking fire lines with hand tools and hoses. According to the National Weather Service, conditions in the Los Angeles will improve with sustained winds slowing to about 20 miles per hour, gusting between 35 miles per hour and 50 miles per hour, a respite from recent wind gusts of 80 miles per hour. However, forecasters predict another red flag warning would be issued for Monday.
Carlos Alcaraz says rivalry with the world number 1 Jannik Sinner is good for his own game.
4-time Grand Slam champion Carlos Alcaraz said on Saturday having a rival like world number 1 Jannik Sinner was good for his own game as it helped him develop a different mindset going into their matches.
The good thing for me is when I'm seeing him, winning titles, when I'm seeing him, in the top of the ranking, push me to practice even harder, every day. And in the practice, I'm just thinking, the things that I have to improve just to play against him. So that things I think is great for me having him and have such a great rivalry so far, just to give the best of me every day.
Alcaraz won the French Open and Wimbledon titles last year, while Sinner claimed the Australian Open and US Open trophies as the pair heralded a new era for the men's game by shutting out 24 times Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic. Despite beating Sinner in all 3 of their matches last season to improve his head-to-head record to 6-4, the 21-year-old Alcaraz said facing the dangerous Italian forced him to think out of the box. At the Australian Open, which begins on Sunday, world number 3 Alcaraz will look to become the youngest man to complete a career Grand Slam, the feat of winning all 4 major titles.
That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.
ඒරෙග්ග දුනියග නසරු